Hi and welcome everyone. It's Kathleen here. And yeah, you can see I've already got all of my lights turned on because it's dark outside. So yeah, it's 7 p.m. my time, so already evening here. Welcome to another YouTube Live on the Pinkfresh Studio channel. It's been a while, I feel like, since I've done one on the Pinkfresh channel because I was on vacation, and then Carissa did quite a few lives, and also Jody had her YouTube live premiere. I hope you all joined in, and if you didn't, I hope you watched the replay because Jody did a fantastic job. And I'm just checking, yeah, so Jody's already here in the chat. She's the one behind the Pinkfresh Studio name. And I'm just checking if everyone can see me and hear me. And yeah, just a few housekeeping things as always. If you have any questions, if you could put the word question in all caps at the beginning, that would be really helpful for us to quickly see it in the chat. And then as always, we are giving away 4 $50 gift cards, 2 during the live stream, and then 2 for those of you who are watching this on a replay. And all you have to do is be active in the chat. So every time you enter something or you write something is another entry. And at the beginning, at the end of this live stream, Jody is going to randomly pick 2 winners for a $50 gift card each. And then for the replay, all you have to do is leave a comment below, and then you will be entered to win as well. So that was the housekeeping things out of the way. Oh, thank you. A.M. Smith is saying, hi, Kathleen, glad to be here. You were missed. Yeah, I mean, you know, I had a good time on vacation, or well, I tried to relax, but with a 5-year-old little daredevil, it's a bit difficult to relax. But yeah, it was fun to be behind the scenes, or like watching just from a purely, you know, recreational point of view. So I just watched the YouTube live by Carissa and Jody while on vacation. Christine says, your room looks so cozy and welcoming. Well, this is my little nook. This is actually our bedroom. I don't have a craft room. This is pretty much all you can see here is my craft space. And then I have one wardrobe opposite me with some more stuff, but that's it. So I have to make do with what I have. Okay, so I'm going to flip my camera real quick to my desk view. Nothing here yet. I'm not sure if you subscribe to our newsletter reminders, you will already have gotten a short glimpse or like a description of what I have in mind for today. And I also posted it in the Facebook group. And I thought that for today, because we've already shared quite a bit of inspiration on the channel for the newest product suites. I think we've covered pretty much every single one from the September release. And we also came out with 5 new Coverplate dies. So I thought I would maybe focus a little bit more on Coverplate dies. My first thought was doing some stitching on them because these are some die cuts that I made with the newest ones. Because quite a few of these would really lend themselves, to doing some stitching on them, because you can see you get these little holes here, and then here as well, and this one. So I think these 3 are the ones that would be the most perfect for incorporating stitching. So that was my initial thought, but then our current weekly promo is 20% off all in-stock washi tapes and their coordinating products. So I thought I would combine those 2 and use the newest Coverplate dies and some of the washi tape die cuts that I have left from, past projects, to give you some inspiration of how you could combine them and maybe put together some quick cards where you don't need to do ink blending or spend a lot of time on ink blending and stamping. So today, I don't think I will do any ink blending, or I won't ink blend like a stamped or hot foiled image, I might only do a little bit of ink blending on backgrounds, but that's it. Today I really want to sort of focus on building cards with die cuts. And I'm going to try to make as many cards as I can in those 60 minutes with the pieces I have already die cut. So I'm trying not to cut any more pieces if I can, because I have here some sentiments that haven't been used that I cut for, when I'm working on the release projects. I have banners here. I have more die cuts that didn't make it onto projects, onto cards that I can't bring myself to just throw away, because I mean, you can see they are still good, So I thought I would try and use as many as I can of these to put together some cards with the washi tapes and Coverplate dies. So that's kind of my idea for today, because I know we share lots and lots of tutorials and project ideas, card ideas with ink blending, and I love ink blending, don't get me wrong, and I'm also always amazed at how it turns out. But I also understand that not everyone wants to spend that time, or maybe not all the time, and might also want some inspiration for something else. Okay, let me just take a quick look. Okay, so the only thing I do want to die cut, because I want to share this idea with you, so I will use some of these pieces that I already die cut. I've linked most of the products already, but after the live I will go through the product or the video description again to see if I missed any products. I want to show you, so this is our washi tape. If you are not familiar with it, these are, hold on, let me measure before I tell you something that's not correct. 4 inches wide. And so each washi tape comes with like a panel of illustrations. So this is one set of illustrations, and this one is repeated over and over again on this washi tape. I think, if I'm not wrong, about 42 times. So you get really good value for your money. And of course you can use these just as die cut pieces, or you could stamp them and ink blend them and then die cut to get a different color scheme. But with this one you already get beautiful gold foiling, for example. So this is the Artsy floral washi tape. But I want to show you that you can also use this on a panel and then die cut this with one of the Coverplate dies, if I can find it. So I'm going to use this one, the Lacy Lattice Coverplate die. Yes, exactly. So 40 to 43 panels per roll it is. I'm not surprised, Jody. So Jody said, I have lots of leftovers, but I've mine all sorted: frames, panels, flowers, A2 cover plates, etc. Big shocker, I don't. Mine are not organized. So I'm going to die cut this cover plate die directly from this panel. And I'm placing it at a little bit of an angle so that not the full kind of edge of this cover plate die goes into my die cutting machine at once. Now, I don't mind that this wasn't cut perfectly, because I'm not going to use it in its entirety. You will see what I mean in a second. Now, I'm actually trying not to pop out all of these pieces right now. So that was good that they stayed inside. Okay, so what I thought I would do, you can see I already have 2 pieces here die cut. I die cut each of the new cover plate dies, once from white cardstock and then once from a colored cardstock for when I did the product photos and like the marketing photos to for this new release. So this is where those die cuts come from. And now I want to use them on some cards. So this is one of my favorite Coverplate dies from the new release, the Lacy Lattice. Now let me grab a card base. Now, what I thought, or what I wanted to show you is that you could use this idea and, as I said, die cut another one from colored cardstock or even white cardstock, and then do kind of like a two-for, so 2-for-1 kind of card. And I already have some, so I only grabbed a few kind of A2 panels from different colored cardstocks, and then also some glitter cardstocks that I thought might come in handy when creating these cards. I don't plan on using all of them, but I just grabbed a few. So I have these two, and you can see this is a slightly darker purple than my die cut cover plate. And then what I thought I would do is pop out those pieces here from my washi tape panel. And you could leave some of them inside. You don't need to pop them all out. You know, there's different ways to do this, or different looks to go for. The only thing to keep in mind, since the washi tape is 4 inches wide and an A2 card is 4¼ inches wide, you do have a little bit of a, I'm not sure if you can even see it on camera. Here, you can see where the washi tape ends, maybe. So there's a difference in the tones of white. If this doesn't bother you, you can totally just use the full panel. If it does bother you to have 2 different tones of white, like it does me, then you would have to cut that down a little bit, which I will probably be doing. Because having 2 different tones of white drives me insane. And now, so you could try to keep them in kind of the same, or in the correct place. But since I'm only going to use some of them and not all of them, I don't mind if they're not in the correct place, because you can't even tell anyways. So this is kind of the look that I was going for. And then I can use this one. Let me pop out a few more. And then you can use this one. And as I said, if you don't mind, just keep it like this is. On camera right now, it's not that noticeable, especially in this light. But in daylight, it's probably the first thing that I would see, and it's, yeah, I hate it. So, but as I said, to each their own. You know, if it doesn't bother you, that's totally fine. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut mine down a little bit, just to cut off that white edge and get rid of that, so I can then try and figure out where to put this. I'm not going for an exact kind of measurement. I'm only trimming down, you know, parts of it. And then we will see where we can go from this. So now, and this card base is actually a little bit off-white, so it's not the same white cardstock that I used to put on my washi tape. So these tones of white actually match. So this is why I'm okay with doing this. And you might think I'm just a little bit, you know, crazy, but I'm sure that at least a few of you understand this obsession with having the same tones of white. No, Christine, trust me, I notice different tones of white, even if it's by someone else. I do. I mean, I would never, you know, if someone gave me a card with different tones of white, I, of course, would never mention it to them. That because that's also something else. If someone gives me a card that they made, I'm not going to judge it, if you know what I mean. But I am judging my own cards. Okay, so I'm just putting some foam, well, not squares, rectangles, foam pieces behind those die cut pieces that stayed inside. And it also covers, or like it keeps them inside. And then I will try to add a little bit of foam on here, because you know me, I love dimension. My son just tried coming into the room. Okay, sorry, I was just listening. He was trying to convince my husband to let him in. Okay, I'm just, trying to see if I missed any questions. And I'm not going to put foam tape behind every single piece, but just so that it doesn't, sag in some places, because I also don't want to bore you with watching me put on foam tape for the rest of this video. I have noticed a lot of the classes lately ask for top folding card bases. Is this a new trend away from side folding? To be honest, I think it's just preference. And for example, I think in the May event, for example, I'm just talking about ours, I think most of us used side folding. And then in, I think, the past event in August, there were a lot more top folding. So I think it just depends a little bit on personal preference from the instructors. But in most cases, you can just substitute top folding with side folding. It rarely really matters, in the sense that the card wouldn't work otherwise. Okay, so I'm trying to put this, hold on, there's a piece sticking out here. So I'm just trying to put this on here sort of centered. I'm not, again, surprise, I'm not measuring, I'm not using a T-square ruler or anything. So this is what I have here. Oh yeah, good point, Jody. It's easier to photograph top fold cards. So for those card makers who like to photograph their cards standing up, top folding is definitely easier. I agree. Okay, so I'm just putting this aside for a second, and then coming in with this one and pretty much doing the same thing, only I'm not cutting down this piece here. I do like how it is the full size of this panel. And the nice thing is, it feels a little bit like a puzzle. So if you put these in, they will stay in there mostly. So you would probably get away with turning this over and then adhering it, or you could use some drawing a blank, press and seal, that's the word I was looking for, to keep those pieces in place. Turn your panel over, put on some foam adhesive, and then you can turn it around. So let's see. I'm not going to fill all of these, of course, but just a few. Oh, and I actually thought, so I kept some of the ones that I had left over from cutting this piece. So you could even put in some solid colored pieces on here. And I might try that in a second. I'm not sure. I'm not even sure how many cards I will get done, because To be honest, I have about a bazillion ideas for how you could combine the washi tapes with Coverplate dies. So I have to figure out which ones to do and which ones to maybe keep for sometime else. Okay, just one more piece maybe here. Okay. So I was trying to be careful. Okay, that was pretty much a success. So I used to prefer side folding cards and made a bunch of side folding card bases, but recently I really got into top folding for whatever reason, and now I have quite a few side folding card bases, you know, prepared, so I have to use them up. Or well, maybe not use them up, but I do want to use them, so I didn't make them for nothing. Christine, oh yeah, you're working on the homework for the holiday card making event. Yes, this is actually one where I felt like I think a lot of instructors use top folding, if I'm not mistaken. But again, I think in most cases you can just switch it out. I'm so glad that so many of you are saying they already like what they, what they're seeing, even though the card is not finished. So that makes me happy. And I just wanted to switch things up a little bit, because in those lives we only have 60 minutes, and having to die cut or like stamp and all of those things takes up time for things that I would say 99% of you watching know how to do. So this is why I thought I would do something a little bit different today. And yeah, you could do this with any washi tape that you have in your stash from, any white washi tape. It doesn't have to be this exact one, or also with any sort of coverplate die. I mean, of course, there are coverplate dies that work better for this technique than others, but I'm sure that a lot of you will have something matching in your stash already. Now, you could even combine this, kind of do like a I don't know how to say it, three-way sort of card, where you cut the coverplate die from glitter cardstock, and then you could do like a mix and match, putting in some glitter cardstock pieces with the washi panel, some washi pieces with the cardstock panel, and so on and so forth. Sorry if I was out of frame, but I'm just peeling off backing paper, so nothing too exciting. Oh, I completely understand, Kathy, that you had to buy all of the new coverplate dies. I love coverplate dies. And one of my favorite things to do with them is actually use them for dry embossing and not even die cutting. Hold on. Oops. Already pulled up the release paper here. Okay. I think I pulled up most of it. It's a bit difficult to see. It's getting sticky. Okay. Hold on. I don't want to make a mess of this. And so for this coverplate die, I actually have so many ideas. I think this would look great with just like taking a white cardstock panel, ink blending it, then die cutting this coverplate die from it, and then simply popping up the die cut pieces inside. Well, that didn't work too well. It's fine. It's fine. Okay, testing my patience. And I don't have too much patience anyway. So, okay, I have to trim it a little bit. And you could even incorporate a shaker into this if you wanted to go, you know, crazy. But since I want to, so my goal is that I want to have at least 4 cards done at the end of this live. So we will see if that works. Now, I have some, I mean, I showed you my tray of like already ready-made sentiments that I have left over from other projects and so on. So I'm just trying to find some pieces that I could use from there. So for those 2 cards, I'm actually not using any, you know, die cut pieces as such, only the die cut panel. And this was the Artsy floral washi tape panel. So I was thinking of, I have these 2 pieces from whatever, I don't even remember. And I want to keep it simple, maybe just a few more gems or whatever, but you know, nothing crazy. And just putting a nice sentiment on here and pretty much call it done. Because we don't always have to do, you know, a ton of things to a card. So maybe something like this. And I'm sorry if my light is a little bit glary there. And I just noticed, I think I'm going to zoom you in a little bit. Okay. And then on here, let's see. No, that covers up too much of this. This is actually kind of nice. The basic banners are some of my favorite, is one of my favorite products from Pinkfresh. So to be honest, I could use this on pretty much every card. I always like how these banners look. And I feel like this would kind of work with the simplicity of those cards. Yes, there are 2 different squares in this. So there's this kind of scalloped lacy square, and then there's just regular smaller squares. Okay, I was just checking the comments if I missed anything, but I think we're good. Because look, if I put, you know, if I was to put another die cut piece on top, it would just get lost. And I think it would take away from this effect of this washi tape cover plate combination thing. Now, I told you I'm not going to do any ink blending as such, only maybe backgrounds or like a piece like this so that it stands out from the background. And this is another one that I have, you know, that was left over, made with the basic banners, stamp and die. And I think I want to do like a purple ink blend over it so that it stands out from the background. And hold on, which ink am I using? I grabbed Opulence. I think you could also use Regal Kiss, but the purple in this one is a little bit more on the dusty bluish side and not kind of like a pink purple like Regal Kiss is. So this is why I picked that one. And I'm just going over my heat embossed sentiment for a little bit of emboss resist. Oops. And there we go. And now it stands out nicely from the background. And I like that. trying to see if I want to do like a shadow layer, or maybe have it from off on the side, because, you know, putting it in the center like this one, it always works. It looks nice. But sometimes switching just the slightest thing, like putting something off center and doing something a little bit more unexpected, helps to make a card stand out. So this is what I'm trying to see here. But for that, I would need a straight edge here. So trying to have a straight edge, and now I can just put this a little bit offset with dimension, of course. Oh yes, a shadow layer in gold will look nice too, but I don't think I have one in the correct like banner shape. And since my goal is to try and use up as many pieces as I can without creating new ones, I am going to use this light purple one that I have left from, you know, whenever. But otherwise, I would probably go for like a gold or champagne glitter cardstock shadow layer. I'm trying to, you know, actually offsetting this a little bit diagonally. That's the plan at least. And then I can put it down here. And you could put it so that it's flush with the die cut, or you could put it so that it's actually flush with the card base, which again helps to kind of create this idea of even more, or enhance this look of even more dimension. So I'm actually going to offset this. Hold on. And I'm going to use this hole here to keep it in place. So I doubled up my foam tape in that area to even it out, and then I can put I like dimension. You could definitely skip that much foam tape and just do one layer or none at all if you prefer. But I really like dimension. So this would be pretty much card number one, apart from maybe a few glitter drops or whatever. And now you could, you know, come in and add a few more of those die cut pieces if you wanted to, or ooh, I like that. Do some of them actually inlaid. That one's going to stay there now. I already pushed it in, and I don't want to, you know, kind of jerk it out, but I do like that. So give me a second while I try to find one that actually kind of fits. Gail says, nice sentiment. This is from what set? So so this one, the Hello Friend, is from the basic banners, and I think the everyday stamp. And the You Are My Calm is from the Message in a Bottle, Sippable Scenes product suite. And by the way, if you ever see a card sample made by a design team member, or, you know, whoever on social media, where you know it's made with a Pink Fresh set, and you're not sure where the sentiment comes from, what you can do is just type in the sentiment exactly as it's spelled into the search bar on our website, and it will give you the corresponding stamp set. So you could type in, for example, You're My Calm, and it should show you Sippable Scenes. There. Where is it? There. Nope. Okay, so I'm just putting in one or two more, and I'm actually adhering those directly to the card base. And for this one, I'm actually trying to find the pieces and put them where they belong, because here you can tell if the pattern doesn't fit. Here it actually doesn't, I didn't put it in the correct way, but it's not that noticeable. So I will keep it before I, you know, rip it or whatever. And I think that's it. I think I can't find any matching pieces right now, and I don't want to fiddle around with this for too long. So yeah, I might put in 1 or 2 more after the live session. Will Pink Fresh be adding to the new Must Stash app? I don't know, to be honest, because I've never heard of this. So maybe Jody could answer that if she knows more about it. So I'm going to put this aside. I will add like glitter drops or whatever at the end, because that's, you know how to do that. So I don't want to spend too much time on that right now. Now, again, of course, foam adhesive. Oh, Jody just said we're not going to be in the Must Stash app. Okay. As I said, I've never heard of it. But we are, you can find our products in the Color My Life app. So I'm just adding some of our liquid adhesive to my foam adhesive, because sometimes foam adhesive doesn't really want to stay on glitter cardstock. So that's the only reason why I'm doing that. And for this one, I feel like this kind of layout, hold on. I was covering up too many of those little squares here. This reminds me of this kind of, what's it called? Composition notebook. Is that the correct word? This kind of notebook front with the little, you know, label or whatever, where you could write your name in, or I don't know, the subject of that you're using this for. So I think I'm going with this. And again, I'm not going to use die cut flowers on this one, because I think it would just be a little bit too much. Trying to get this centered. The Color My Life app, Karin, is an app for kind of cataloging your craft stash. So you could add, you know, all of your stamps, dies, and whatever to it. So to keep track of what products you own, you can add things like where you store it and all of that. Okay, now for my sentiment, as I said, I have quite a few here. Nope. Nope. And I really don't want to stamp another one and die cut another one, because I want to use up what I have, or maybe not use up, but you know what I mean. But the thing is, for most of them, the color doesn't match. So I'm keeping this one on it for now, and we will see if I can find a better one later. But moving to another idea for a card. So I also wanted to do one that is a little bit more simple. Okay. So I was thinking, I have quite a few butterflies die cut here from the Fluttering Butterflies washi tape. There are quite a few different colors of butterflies and like shapes and sizes. And I thought I would just do a really quick and simple card that still adds, you know, has a nice effect. What you can do is arrange things in a grid, something like this, for example, and then just add your sentiment. Or I was thinking of maybe only doing 3 of them. Let's see which color. Maybe those 3. I really like how these colors look together. Or with the other one. Yeah, I think I prefer it with this one. I feel like this is a little bit too busy. And then I wanted to show you that sometimes adding something like just a piece of glitter cardstock or like ink blended cardstock behind the openings of a cover plate die can make such a difference. And you can see you have this piece die cut from white cardstock, add a panel of glitter cardstock behind it, just add some die cut pieces, a sentiment, and you're pretty much done. And I think that's actually what I'm going to do. I feel like the gold is a little bit too bright. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with the champagne. It's just my favorite glitter cardstock color. Okay, I hope I didn't miss any questions, but it seems like the conversation right now is mostly about the different apps. So I think Jody can explain that best. Again, let's see. I think I'm going to actually adhere this one down straight on the glitter cardstock panel, which is kind of rare for me. I have to fight the urge to add foam adhesive behind this right now. Question. I've had problems getting my washi tape to stick on my cardstock. Do you use glue when you use your large washi tape? No. What you can do, sometimes, you know, it depends a little bit on the cardstock and sometimes also the kind of the first piece of the washi tape. If you've, let's say I've rolled this up to have a look at it, and then I roll it back down, sometimes it doesn't stick as well anymore, just because, you know, maybe some dust got on it or whatever. What you can do to kind of press those 2 pieces together is just roll the cardstock with the washi tape on top through your die cutting machine without die cutting, and it will help kind of adhere those 2 pieces together. I hope that kind of helps. Okay, now for this one, I thought I could either, you know, because as I said, I'm trying to, or my goal was to actually also use up some other die cut pieces. So let's see if I can work that in. Oh yeah, good point. Running your bone folder on, you know, across the cardstock when it's not really sticking is also a good point, a good idea. See, again with the banners. Oh, I like how that one fits in here. That fits perfectly. Let's do it. Okay, so dimension will be, because I have to have dimension. I'm sorry. Oh yeah, sorry, I forgot to mention what this cover plate is called. This is the Petal Trellis, also one of the 5 new cover plate dies. And I really like those small openings. They are not too big, but or not too small and not too big, just perfect for adding a little bit of something behind them. Either glitter cardstock or colored cardstock for a little bit of added interest. trying to get this down evenly. Now, you could kind of cut out the middle section of this piece here and keep it for a different project if you want to. But since my whole point is trying to use up things, I don't want to do it. Okay, now for my butterflies, let's see. I kind of want to stick to this color scheme that I had going on with like pinks and purples. So, and I think this one in the middle because it's the widest. And then maybe these on top. Or I also really like the orange one. So let's see. So I think for the You're Going Places, and I think this was from can't remember the name right now. The more masculine one. Something with moments, I think. Vicky just said, I never think to use that part of the foam tape. Yes, it's perfect to kind of back larger pieces with it and you're not wasting anything. Okay. So I don't have a shadow layer or anything for my You're Going Places, and normally I would kind of stack up my sentiment die cuts for a little bit more dimension or even like sturdiness. But since Mark the Moment, that's the set. Since I don't want to die cut more pieces, I'm just going to do, use foam tape. And that's it. No, don't throw that part away. It's also so satisfying when you get to use up a full sheet of foam dots. And, because you will use up every single thing apart from, of course, the backing paper. But other than that, you can use everything. So for the butterflies, I'm only adhering them like the center so that I can lift up the wings. You could put a little piece of foam adhesive underneath the wings to keep them from folding flat again. Or you can just, leave it as is so that your card would go in kind of a little bit more flat in the envelope and then just fluff it up again when you take it out. Hold on. I thought I saw a question. Maybe I missed it. So yeah, still debating whether to use the purple or the orange one. I think we're gonna go with orange. And this is pretty much it. A few glitter drops, gems, jewels, whatever. And that would be done. And of course, adhering it to a card base. But I'm not going to show you adhering all of my panels to a card base right now because you know how to do that, and that would just take up some of my time. Question. What washi tape is this? This is the Fluttering Butterflies, and it is part of the weekly promo. All of the washi tapes we have currently, even the newest ones that were part of the March release, are part of this 20% off weekly promo, as well as all of the coordinating product. So for each washi tape, there is a coordinating stamp set, a coordinating die set to die cut them out, and a coordinating stencil set to ink blend those. Now, these right here, so this is the Fluttering Butterflies, this is the Artsy Floral I used in the beginning. These are our old sizing for the washi tape stamps. We kind of resized things and split up the stamp for the washi tape image into two pieces so that you could use those and the dye with your regular die cutting machine, because before you had to shift your paper or you had to use an extended cutting plate. So this is why we broke it up into 2 stamped images. But it's still the same idea that you get the matching stamp for all of the images in the washi tape. I hope I explained that, you know, well. So that would be card number 3, sort of done. Now I have this glitter frame, and I have this white cardstock Lacy Lattice. And as I told you before, one of my favorite things to do with Coverplate dies is to use them for dry embossing. So I thought I would show you that as well. For one card, that would be more on the kind of trying to do a, you know, very elegant kind of muted color scheme. So let's see. I'm not even sure if I want to do dry embossing on this, to be honest. I think it might be too much. Let me have a quick look, sorry, at my other Coverplate dies. You know what? No, I'm not going to do the dry embossing now because I think it might be too much. So let's see. So this was cut just from some glacier cardstock. I cut an oval that I used, maybe used for a different card. So I'm just going to adhere my Lacy Lattice behind it, and so that I don't have to be too precise with lining it up, because, you know, you won't be able to see all of it. I'm just trimming off the edges, because now I can just put it on like this and I don't have to worry about it showing on the sides. Okay, like so, just making sure that it's straight. And then I thought maybe instead of doing dry embossing, we could do a shaker. Or hold on. So as I said, I want to do this a little bit more on the elegant side. So these are some florals from the Artsy floral washi tape. So the panel I used for the first card. Okay, I'm getting sticky hands now. But I have to be quick before it dries. I want to push this in between. Like so. And now I can just trim off the excess. I hope I'm not rushing too much, but you know. Okay, now I also have a bit of leftover acetate from our heat resistant acetate. How am I on time? 7 minutes. Okay, let's see if I can do a shaker in 7 minutes. Try my best. Maybe not, but you know. So this is our heat resistant acetate. I'm not going to do any kind of heat technique on it right now, but I also love to use it for shakers because it's really sturdy and, you know, stays flat, doesn't kind of wobble about. So I really like that. Just pushing this in. I really like how this is looking, to be honest. And then with this kind of It's a bit difficult to see in this light, but it's not cream. It's a bit more kind of beigey. But I feel like this is a very elegant color scheme. I don't think I've ever done a color scheme like this. I usually go for a bit more brighter colors. So it's a nice, what's the word I'm looking for? Change. Change is not the word I'm looking for, but it says the same thing. Okay, 5 more minutes. Okay, full disclosure, my cards will not be completely done at the end of this, of course, because I do want to add a little bit of like clear drops to the ones I made in the beginning. But as I said, this is something that you will know how to do, so I feel like it's okay to just do this after the live. And right now just kind of focus more on showing you the layout. And one more piece. Now one thing, and that's good to do when you want to do a shaker and you're using foam adhesive that is sticky on the side. Oh, hold on. My computer needs juice, and without that, my stream will just end. So that is important. Okay, whew, you're good. A good thing to do is use your anti-static powder on the sides of your foam tape, especially when you're using things like small glitter, because otherwise it will stick to those sides and you won't have much that shakes about. If you're using larger things like, I don't know, clear drops or something, it's not that big of a deal because they are a little bit heavier and, you know. So let's see. No, I feel like with glitter drops it's probably going to be too much. That might be a bit too much glitter going on then. What about this? Where are my clear drops? Sorry for the kind of rummaging around, but I can't find my clear drops in ice. So either the dewdrops iridescent or these. Let's use these. These are the gems clear with gold dust. They are a little bit because they are clear, they are not as in your face as the regular glitter ones, which are beautiful, don't get me wrong, but since I already have this glitter frame, you know, I don't want to overdo it. And now again, trying to line this up. And there we go. It shakes about nicely. And for this one, let's see if I have a sentiment that goes. So I have 1 minute left. I have so many more ideas that I wanted to show you. Maybe I will have to do a blog post with some more ideas for how you can incorporate washi tapes and Coverplate dies. Looking for a sentiment. I don't want to mix too many different kind of metallic finishes. So I'm not really, I don't want to do the copper. Okay, you know what? I think I'm going to put this one on here just as a sort of placeholder, and will break my rule of not creating a new kind of sentiment, simply because I feel like, you know, I don't want to ruin my card or just do something for the sake of doing it, even though I know something else would look nicer, if you know what I mean. Okay, now imagine all of these had some clear drops or pearls or whatever on them as a finishing touch, and imagine they were already adhered to a card front. And to be honest, I could go on for another hour with, because it feels like I didn't even make a dent in my stash of things. Okay, so let's have a look. This was number one. I would only add a few pearls or whatever and call it done. Then this is number two, same thing, and of course adhering it to a card base. And this is number three. This was with the Petal Trellis cover plate die and the nested elongated ovals with a blanket stitch here. And then this is number four, nice shaker. Also the Artsy floral washi tape, and then the Lacy Lattice cover plate die again. And I will switch out the sentiment because, as I said, I don't want to mix too many different metallic finishes. Whew! Okay, that was a lot. But as I said, I still have more ideas, and I would like to use or show you even more. But yeah, I think I will do a blog post probably, because I just have so many more ideas, and I you know, I want to show you what else you can do. I would love to hear which one's your favorite. And if you enjoyed this video, I would of course love it if you give it a thumbs up. And if you don't already, if you want to, you can subscribe to our channel, which of course is always appreciated. Number three, number four favorite, I think for me, difficult. I really like this number four, this one, because it's very different for me for the color scheme. I'd be up for another episode, make it a mini series. Yes, something like this maybe. Or I could do another video, like a pre-recorded video or something. We will see. Now, I saw, there it is. Jody picked the winners, Christine T and Suzie Stamper. Congratulations, you are today's gift card winners. All you have to do is email Jody, customer service at pinkfreshstudio.com to claim your prize. And then you can go shopping and maybe grab some washi tapes or glitter cardstock or whatever you like. And then next week, don't forget, if you're watching the replay, to leave a comment to be entered to win for the other 2 gift cards. And then next week, we will have another sneak peek live already, if I'm not mistaken. Yep. And it's the second YouTube live for Jody. So Jody will make an appearance again. And you will get a glimpse of our October release. So thank you so much for joining, everyone. As I said, I would love it if you give this a thumbs up. And thank you, Jody. And yeah, I had a lot of fun, and I hope to see you again soon. And have a great day, everyone. Take care. Bye.